Einen sehr frischen guten Morgen, meine lieben Schüler. So this is your German teacher Urvashi Sharma with another video session. So today I'm going to explain relative pronomen with the help of few examples. Along with this, we are going to start with our advice book. So without wasting further, let us begin with the concept. So everyone, for today's video, please refer your advice of your layer book. Lektion-9 Geld verdienen jeden Preis, and from this chapter please open the concept of relative pronomen. As you can see, the table is given. In this table you need to observe only the case of nominative, accusative and dative. Please do not learn or please do not focus on genitive, as this topic is out of your syllabus. Now, when I was explaining about the concept of relative pronomen, I have already explained you all that the definite articles and the relative pronoun are similar. So, with the help of this table, I'll briefly explain you all how it works. As you all know, in the case of nominative, we have 4 articles, that is der, die, das and die. Der refers to masculine, whereas die refers to feminine. We have one more D that refers to plural, and we have das that refers to neutral. So, in case of relative pronomen, if I'll be talking about nominative sentence and I have to use der, then the pronoun will also be der. If I'll talk about accusative, in accusative we have den, die, das and die, whereas den is for masculine, die is for feminine, das is for neutral and die again for plural. Again, with the help of few examples, I'll be able to explain you all the concept briefly. And the last we have dative. In the case of dative, as you can see in your books only, very first we have dame, which means der. In the case of dative will change into dame. This is what I taught you in the beginning of the chapter. In chapter number 1, Lektion-9, I have already explained this concept of dative. Kindly recall the same, and if you cannot, then please watch my videos of class 8 which are relatable to the concept of dative. Those videos will help you to understand the concept of dative more clearly. So, der will become dame, D will become der. That means if you will see D in feminine, D is becoming der. Das, which is neutral, das will become dame, and again we have one more D, that is plural D. That plural D will become denen. Now we have few examples. Those examples will help you to understand how these relative pronomen and how these definite articles are quite similar. So let us proceed towards the examples. So now we have the very first example, that is from the concept of nominative. As you can see on your screen, the example is Die Frau, die das Auto hat, ist reich. Okay, now die Frau, this is my noun. As I have explained in my WebEx that after noun we will have pronoun. So this die is referring here to relative pronoun. And why we are using here die? Because as I have explained in the beginning only that the sentence is nominative. So you can check the table again. In the concept of nominative, D remains D. This is the reason here we are using a relative pronoun D. Point number 2, that is the example of accusative. That is, der Roman, den ich lesen will, ist XYZ, which means the novel that I wish to read is XYZ. XYZ, it could be any name, right? So here, as I have explained, this is accusative. Der, this is my noun, and after that I have to use the pronoun. So der Roman will change into de. You can check the table again. That table will help you to know which relative pronoun you have to use. Basically, if you know all the articles of all 3 concepts, you all know the relative pronoun too, because both are similar. Last example, that is from the case of dative. Der Kunde, mit dem ich gesprochen habe, ist Deutscher, which means the client with whom I had a talk is of Germany, is German. So again here you can see der Kunda, which means the client, the customer. Der will change into dem. This is the reason we are using here dem. So again please check the table, that will help you to know why we are using here dem, since der changes into dem in the concept of dative. So what you have to keep in your mind at last, all the definite articles of nominative, accusative and dative act as relative pronoun. That's it. Rest we will have some questions from Erbites book, and those questions we'll discuss in our WebEx session, because here I feel like this topic is bit complicated, so we'll discuss everything in our WebEx session. Till then, bye bye, take care and have a good day ahead.